Hey everyone, welcome back to my anime collector channel, Gizanime, where we do anime figures, card games, and other anime related odds and ends. In today's video, we will be doing not one, not two, but three figures from One Piece. Most of them are the stars of the latest arc of One Piece, the Wano arc that has actually just finished up as far as the manga is concerned, at least, as we head into the final set of arcs or bit of the series before Oda finishes it off. And it's been honestly one heck of a ride. I love One Piece. It's probably my favorite anime if I was to pick a favorite. Most of my figures are nothing but One Piece figures, and the majority of those are nothing more than Luffy. Matter of fact, I have a Gear 5 Luffy figure coming at some point in the future. It's already been shipped and on the way. It was a pre-order, so be looking out for that video at some point in time. But in today's video, we will be doing Kozuki Odin, Kinemon, and Goldie Roger.
Nice.
These two figures are King of Artist ones. They're actually kind of heavy. Obviously, they're not the higher quality figures. You know, they're not the 1/7 scales or anything of that nature. But they're still probably at least a decent size. And if nothing more, a decent sculpt with a relatively nice paint job and detail to go along with them. This Battle Record Collection Kinemon, though, is not something that I've bought before. He feels pretty light, so I'm not too sure about him. But I figured that we would open them on the channel. These three figures actually came from a lot that I bought some time ago off of Buy Japan. And I had planned on selling them on eBay, but just really never got around to it. They've just been sitting on my shelf collecting dust. So I figured, hey, why not just open them up, see what they're about. We can check them out here, so you'll know in the future if you want to buy them, whether they're worth buying or not. With all that out the way, let's get on to these figures, and I'll see you there. Alright, so on the swords that he's holding on his side, we have, well, sword and sheath. The other sword, obviously, he's holding. So I'm taking it, these are two swords. One he has sheath, the other one he does not. They have like a really nice flame design on them, with like a green rope tied around the top of them. Kind of has the same color Zoro's hair does. And then we have this, I guess, a sash that wraps around. But overall, it does look really nice. Alright, and then we have the flame sword that he's holding. It has really nice contrasting oranges and yellows. Again, just to give it that fire effect. As he's swinging it, whoever he hits with this thing is not going to have a great day. Unless it's Kaido, of course, in which case he'll just shrug it off. Alright, so I did end up having to use the stand on him because our boy Kinemon is a bit top heavy and keeps trying to bow down. We have his typical garb with like this bright Naruto orange on one side, and then the prison stripes on the other side. He has his wild top knot headed up as he's grimacing or gritting his teeth as he's about to strike down at his opponent. We have nice detail in his chest. We have like muscle definition, things of that nature. This isn't, again, one of the higher quality figures that I've been getting lately, but it is not bad looking at all. I do love the sword. I do love the attention to his face. You know, they definitely didn't leave out, and they definitely didn't like cut corners on it. It's not sloppy. They aren't off-centered or anything of that nature. The pupils are in the right spot. His teeth all look like they're pretty uniform. They're not jagged or out of place. We even have some really nice detail in his feet. We have the strap for his sandal. Each individual toe is done, and you can see each individual toenail as well. So I appreciate that. You can see his ankle as well coming out outside of his foot. So they didn't make it look like, you know, one big congealed blob or anything of that nature that some companies do. And even honestly, some of the resins that I've seen, you have quite a few folds as well in his clothing to show a fluid motion. As you know, he's swinging his sword out and down. But that is Kinemon. Next up, we will go ahead and do Kozuki Odin.
Hell yeah!
Alright, so here's his stand. It even has this little serial number on the side of it. I guess that's to show authenticity. I'm not really sure. Other than that, it doesn't have like a big circle base or anything like that. So I guess that's nice because it won't be like in the way. It won't take up a whole lot of space. Alright, so he has a ton of muscle definition. Odin does not skip leg day, that's for sure. Which should be pretty evident in the show if you know anything about him holding up that huge. So, yeah, this guy is extremely strong and has a ton of endurance. So his legs are pretty hairy. We have all kinds of little spots with his hair. Again, just with like Kinemon's feet, we have the sandal strap along with the definition of the toes themselves. Each toenail individually drawn out and painstakingly carved so we can see them. And you have his other leg that's done just as well. Extreme muscle definition. We've got the hair as well, along with the foot and the sandal. The peg stand, this hole right here, will fit underneath the bottom of his shoe here. This will slide in. So it slides in like so. So the back of the sandal will go into the peg stand. And then this top here will slide in between where his clothing is to hold him in place.
Oh my god!
And then there's that wonderful shot there as well.
Oh hell no!
So yeah. Right, and here is his chest again, just like with Kinemon. He has quite a bit of detail going on in his chest. So again, we have the muscle definition and things of that nature. We also got quite a bit of muscle definition going on in his arms as well. We even have some veins popping out. We have quite a lot of folds going on in the shoulders to show movement. And just kind of like this stance that he has going on, where he looks like he's about to attack. Alright, and then we have the moon-shaped crescent moons on his chest, which is the symbol of the Kozuki family. And then we have the back. You can see quite a bit of detail in his hand. We have like all kinds of ridges and you know where the bone is, each knuckle, as well as the fingernails on each of the fingers. Alright, and just like with Kinemon, again we have the two swords and their scabbards as well that will be on the side of Odin. These ones are a little better detailed than Kinemon's, of course. Again, this is just a slightly better quality figure. We have these flower type patterns alongside of this white sword and the purple sword as well. Both of the hilts look pretty much the same with this triple type handguard going around each of the swords. Alright, and then we have this pretzel type pattern rope that he wears around the back of his body. We have all kinds of like, just kind of, it looks like scarring or just like battle marks of some type. Also, it could just be basically like the material is folding into the next knot on this. But I could imagine some of this also being battle damage because Odin's a fighter. He likes fighting, as is evident when he tried to go against Goldie Roger when he first saw him.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And Goldie Roger just sent him flying back. So, and then after that, he tried to run back into the battle. Like, he just didn't get smacked away like a fly. Alright, and then we have Odin's head. He's looking kind of angry right now. Not sure if he's about to go into battle or if he's just mad at the world at the moment, but we have his hat on the top of his head. Has quite a few scratches on it from just, the design itself. Kind of like Luffy's hat, made out of straw. Then we have his hair as well that is tied into this ponytail with this yellow band that wraps around the back of it. We can see all kinds of detail in his hair though. He has all kinds of like strands going and it's just kind of like flowing. It is basically backwards motion. It kind of looks like it's either, the wind is blowing, or if he wasn't in this standing pose, I would almost assume that he was running into battle. But we have, again, his eyes, these long arching eyebrows. On the side, you can see his ear, and there's a little bit of detail in the ear, but not a whole lot. Alright, for anybody getting him, his head is kind of hard to press down in here. It almost felt like I cracked something, but I didn't. But it was kind of hard to push down into his peg that he has up here on the top of his neck. So just be aware that if you buy this figure, you are going to need to apply quite a bit of force. But that is our King of Artists, Kozuki Odin. Next up, we will be getting into the man, the myth, the legend himself, the king of the pirates, Goldie Roger. Goldie Roger just comes with this little peg that he will more than likely sit on in some form or fashion. So I really do like this though. I think this is a lot better replacement than the typical circle stand. The circle stands take up a lot of space and they just really look tacky and ugly for the most part. Not a lot of detail goes into them normally. It's just like with Kinemon, just circle base. It's really ugly.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Alright, so starting off with Goldie Roger's legs, we have like these really orange kind of brown tinted pants with this white, almost grayish frill at the bottom of them. And then we head down to his boots, which have like this really nice sheen to them. They have like this kind of leather look to them with several different folds and creases. On the side, we note that he has this silver chain wrapping around his body. We have this really long scarf type thing, belt almost, that loops around his waist. And then it goes down past his legs to pretty much the tip of his boots. In the back, we have his scabbard for his sword. It's really nothing special on his scabbard.
Lame.
It's just this long brown piece that has like a little gold tint at the end of it, or the tip. Alright, first off, I would like to note that this was pretty hard to flush in there as much as I could, but even with me struggling to push his chest down into the peg, you can see that there is a gap in between here. So he does not sit flush at all within his face, which I'm really not a big fan of. Alright, but with that out the way, you can see way more definition in his chest than with Odin or with Kinemon. He has this gold chain that's wrapping around his cloak. There are a lot of folds in his pink shirt that he wears. You can see that this hand looks like it's about to, you see this finger wrap around the sword like he's about to draw it. So for the most part, you have again his red cloak on. We have like this long sleeve going down into the cuff with like this gold trim around it. The shoulder pads that he wears have the gold frill on them as well. The back of the cloak doesn't really have a whole lot going on. It's just like this really burgundy type red color. At the bottom, this part right here will go into his cloak, and then the end wraps into his shoe like so. So his shoe, the back of the boot will slide into this peg, and again on this side into the cloak. So it can only go on this foot, because if you try to put it on the other foot, then this part right here will be facing outwards and will not angle correctly. Not a huge issue, but I did forget to put the hilt of his sword up here. It does have some really nice gold color to it, along with like this really nice fine pattern along the edges of the hilt itself, wrapped around the handguard. Alright, and then we have the King of Mustaches himself. I mean, Pirates, Goldie Roger's head. Mustache looks really nice. The teeth don't have quite the definition that Odin's had. You can actually see more definition on the image on the box. If it was a little clearer, definitely. Also, the marks or the creases on his forehead, they feel like they could kind of peel off. I'm pretty sure that's a manufacturing error, and they don't look anything like the ones on the image at all, because this looks more to me like, you know, he's really mad and his veins are kind of popping out, whereas here it just kind of looks like old scar or something. So those don't look quite right in my opinion. Also, the marks for his beard on his face, although they're there, they're not as dark as they show them to be on the box. So they're kind of barely visible here. So the body, pretty much okay. This pose right here, I swear he kind of looks like a WWE wrestler or something like that. And he's just about to give Macho Man Randy Savage a smackdown. I mean, the face doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all. It's just not identical to the one on the box. It's definitely a lot better than the previous Goldie Roger figure that I bought. Because that one is the one where he's battling against Whitebeard. And the figure itself is a lot smaller, so the detail just really isn't there. This being the previous figure that I bought, you can see a definite size difference as the newer one is a lot bigger.
Impressive.
But I do believe the littler one is actually more expensive. Mostly because he's a set, you know. You can get him by himself, but he's supposed to be with the Whitebeard figure as they're clashing together, so I believe he's more expensive. I could be wrong. I'll look that up, actually. Alright, but that's them. Kozuki Odin, Kinemon, and the King of the Pirates, Goldie Roger. Let me know what you thought of these 3 figures. Let me know if there's any One Piece figures out there you're looking to get, or if there are any other figures out there that you're looking to acquire. Keep an eye out for that Gear 5 Luffy figure unboxing that I will be doing in the future at some point. And I'll see you all again next time.